Hello and welcome to ThinkFwd. My name is Spencer Burke, your host for ThinkFwd. Today I'm joined with Dan Brennan. He's the author of Sacred Unions, Sacred Passions. Now, this is a book that was a little too controversial for the Christian community, but not controversial enough for the secular community. And then it'd be very difficult to try to find a publisher for that kind of a message, it seems.
Yes, it was.
So you got two parts, I think, that we can explore here.
Yes.
The context itself, but then also the whole process of self-publishing.
Yes. Both of them are there, and both of them are present. The part of my journey for male-female friendship, I came into that with a lot of fear in the community, fear of getting too close to having female friends when I was married. The process about publishing, I couldn't find a publisher that was interested enough to take on the subject. It's a very controversial subject.
Yeah.
So I started down the journey of looking at the self-publishing angle and trying to find a voice, a place where the Christian community could look at this subject through the means of a book.
Well, it seems as if the book is not sexy enough in a sense for the secular community, but a little dangerous with the religious community. But you're really dealing with cross relationships, cross-sex relationships here. How do we deal with this?
Yes. The cross-gender friendship is actually, in one sense, no different than other friendships. Yeah. You press through the fear, you recognize there's a fear, you recognize there's a danger, and then you have your own boundaries and enjoy the friendships with women as you would any other friend.
You know, it seems to me that in this day and age, we need to begin to realize how to model powerful relationships that have boundaries. But I think if we default on this one and just simply kind of go the route of abstinence again, we're not going to really offer any answers. I mean, your book has some pretty powerful questions and answers, I think.
Yes. The story, Spencer, is that Christ prays for us to be one, and he does not pray for us to all have sex. Mm-hmm. And how do we pursue oneness in the context of Christian community, in the context of cross-gender friendship? The story is not the question to the question is not, can men and women be friends in the Christian story? Yeah. The question is, how do we pursue delight and nurture communion among opposite sex friends who we are not married to?
Right. Well, this is not new to our tradition. I mean, you look at the Desert Fathers and Desert Women. We had, St. John of the Cross, Teresa of Avila, even in a mentoring relationship, but even Jesus with Mary and others.
Even Jesus and, one chapter I focus upon Jesus and Mary Magdalene and their personal relationship and their personal friendship, how she traveled with Jesus, spent time with Jesus, and then was there at his death, and then was there at his resurrection. And according to John's gospel, he met Mary before he met anyone else. And there are reasons, besides the fact that she was just a woman, that he met her there. What's highlighted in John's gospel after Jesus rose from the dead, what's highlighted is a male-female friendship. Jesus and Mary Magdalene at the dawn of the new creation. That is the first relationship that's highlighted in John's gospel.
Yeah. Well, I think of all the relationships I have, and if I just said I can never be alone in the same place with a woman, I can never have relationships and friendships in this way, especially after I'm married, there'd be a large section of my life that would be missing, I think.
It's huge, and one of the things in the Christian culture, in the sub-Christian culture, is that we tend to separate from our opposite sex friends once we get married, or follow a rule-based kind of sexuality where we have communion inside our marriage, but not outside of marriage. We can't be alone with a woman, we can't go out for a jog with a woman, or can't go out for a day of walking and hiking. that kind of sexuality is more based upon rules rather than a personal chastity of pursuing good boundaries and good relationships with each and every individual woman in the context of your circle of friends and community.
Well, it goes without saying that there's boundaries. I mean, no one's saying that, but don't you feel as if we've kind of swung the pendulum so far over that we're kind of basing our Christian relationships on fear rather than love and care and compassion?
Yes, exactly, and you got that right. We have not been given a spirit of fear. The Lord has called us to exercise good and wise and proper boundaries. He's called us to use proper discretion, but He's also called us to love, and He's called us to pursue those relationships that are worth the risk. We need powerful stories. There are stories in Catholic spirituality spanning every century that are chaste, powerful, intimate friendships where sex never was in the picture. And there are plenty of stories in our day, both in the secular realm and in the Christian realm, where men and women are working close side by side each other, traveling with each other, spending time with each other, encouraging relationships without ever falling down the slippery slope.
Well, and I've always heard it said, and I think it's true in my own life, is that the secret is always more powerful than the truth. I think it's that sneaking around and the hiding versus, who would you trust? Someone who's talking to you and open and honest about the relationships. And
yes, that's an excellent point. And it's a beautiful thing to have this transparent, to have it out in the open. The difference between good, chaste, powerful cross-gender friendships versus what we've come to call emotional adultery is living a double life. Whereas if you're open about it with your spouse, you're transparent, there's nothing to hide, it's much more enjoyable. And in the New Testament, the brother-sister metaphor was a powerful metaphor. In those days, the brother-sister relationship was actually closer than the husband-wife relationship, but it did not mean a sexual relationship. As a matter of fact, it communicated what I call a non-romantic nearness. A very close, non-romantic nearness, a bond that is present between men and women that we would be far poorer if we didn't have that relationship, that situation within our Christian community.
Well, and now this kind of transitions us into this next idea, and that is that these kinds of conversations don't get to be said if a publisher doesn't pick it up.
That is true.
Now, you've gone through an interesting journey on self-publishing this.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the dirty little secrets of self-publishing. I love that you've done this.
Yes. Well, once I was unable to get a mainstream Christian publisher to work for this, I started to look into the story of self-publishing, and this has been a whole journey of friendship for me. And the graphic artists are in there, and the interior design and the editors. I had a little help from my friends. I had a little help from my friends. It's a wonderful journey if you've got friends who support you and who are gifted and able to do the graphic designs and as well as the editing. It's a wonderful opportunity to pursue self-publishing.
And now let me guess, what gender are these friends?
I had a lot of female friends.
Is that hilarious?
My closest female friends contributed heavily to the editing of the book and the design of the book. So that the book itself could be called a product of male-female friendship. Yeah,
that's interesting. Well, I hope that your voice is heard across, and I hope that anyone who's interested in the self-publishing thing, that they would contact you. We'll have on the show notes, we'll have
Sacred Union, sacredpassions.com. And also my email address and my blog page at danbrennantypepad.com.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing your voice and others' voices as we keep moving forward.
Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate it, man.